JQ, welcome back to Bayou Buzz. All right, if you're watching the Northshore market right now and thinking, this feels different, you're not wrong. This isn't a market that's slowing down, and it's definitely not a market that's heating back up either. It's something more interesting than that. Today, we're looking at MLS activity for the most recent 7 days, compared to the prior 18 to 14 days across Slidell, Mandeville, and Covington, Ponchatoula. And what I want to do is translate the data into how the market actually feels on the ground. Based on the story right now, it isn't chaos, it's selectivity. I'll say that again. It is not chaos, it's selectivity. And this is what the data is really saying. Here's the high-level takeaway before we go city by city, price range by price range. Buyers are still active. Homes are still selling. Homes sell every day. But buyers are being far more intentional about homes they're willing to move forward on. When we look at the recent closings, homes that are selling closer to list price, homes are selling closer to the list price than they were just a week or two earlier. That's important. At the same time, the average days on market for closed sales has actually gone up. And when those two things happen together, it tells us something very specific. Buyers will still pay full price for the right home. And they just won't rush into the wrong one anymore. This market is no longer a market where close enough works. Accuracy over urgency. That's the market shift. Think about that. For the last few years, urgency covered a lot of sins. Pricing could be a little off. Condition could be a little dated. Marketing didn't have to be perfect. That safety net is gone. What we have now is a market that rewards accuracy. Accuracy in pricing, accurate conditions and expectations, accurate presentation. When those three line up, homes still move, and they move well. The most consistent winner, 200K to 400K homes. If there's a storyline that continues to repeat itself across the North Shore, it's this. Homes between 200K and 300K are still the most reliable performers in the market. Not in one city, not in two cities, all 5 markets we track. Those homes are consistently selling under 45 days. And here's why that matters. That price range sits at the intersection of affordability and practicality. Monthly payments still make sense. Insurance is still manageable. Layouts work for real life. And most importantly, it attracts multiple buyer types at the same time. We're talking first-time home buyers. We're talking downsizers, investors, move-up buyers trying to stay conservative. All works. When the demand stacks like that, well-priced homes don't wait around to be discovered. They go down, they get shown, they get decided on. For sellers in this range, you don't need hype, you just need precision. For buyers, preparation matters more than patience. Period. So let's talk about what's happening above 300K. As we move up that price ladder, 300K to 400K. The 300K to 400K range shows flashes of speed in the most recent weeks. Some homes move very quickly, but that speed wasn't a consistent in the prior window. And that tells us something important. This isn't a guaranteed fast lane. It's opportunity driven. the right home still flies off the market, while the average home still waits 400 to 500K. A little bit different. 400 to 500K range actually improved quietly. Closing came faster. Deals look cleaner than before. This range often acts like a confidence barometer for the Northshore. And right now, it's signaling stabilization, not hesitation. Now, let's talk about city by city real quick. Slidell. It actually cooled slightly in the pace, kind of just like the weather did, right? Homes are still selling, but they're taking longer to get there. Buyers are active, but they're more discerning. The 200 to 300K range remains the most dependable here. Above that, pricing and presentation have to be on point, have to be sharp and precise. Now let's talk about Mandeville. Mandeville picked up some speed. We saw faster closings, quicker movement into pending status. That usually tells us buyers aren't just finishing old deals. They're making new decisions. In Mandeville right now, the condition and the presentation matters more than almost anything else. Think about that. Presentation and condition. Covington. Well, Covington tightened up. Closings happened faster. Sales to list ratios stayed strong. This is what the quiet confidence looks like in the data. Not urgency, just certainty. Now let's talk. Madisonville leaned more selective. Earlier fast closings didn't repeat, and buyer activity was clearly value driven. This market rewards quality, but expects the price to earn it. Ponchatoula shows some improvement. Overall, the pace is still slower compared to the other cities, but both closings and pending activity moved in the right direction. When a well-priced home, well-maintained home hits the mark. All right, let's zoom out. And here's what matters. This is not a soft market anymore. But this is not an overheated market. It's a clear market. Buyers know what they want. Sellers who deliver are being rewarded. But the margin of error has narrowed. Over the next 1 to 2 weeks, the key signal I'm watching is whether the momentum in the 300 to 400 or the 400 to 500K range repeats. If it does, that tells me, or tells us, the market is broadening. And it's not just surviving on affordability in the 200 to 300K range. Until then, the takeaway is simple. The Northshore isn't guessing right now. It knows what it wants. And when a home delivers, the market responds. All right, team. I'll keep breaking this down for you as the data comes in. If you're buying, selling, or just watching the market closely, this is Bayou Buzz. I'm JQ, and I'll keep you posted on what's happening. JQ out.